Hello everyone, this is Mark. Welcome to my new channel, where I will mostly play Kerbal Space Program. We're going to start a new science mode save. So I'm already quite experienced at the game, but I'm not that good at it. So let's set the difficulty options. So I'm going to set to moderate. Science rewards to 100%. We're gonna make the hangar a bit bigger. I think that's the mod that I've got. So I'm playing with quite a few mods. I'll put the mod list in the description. So let's make this. I've got like a simple life support mod called Snacks, and I'm just gonna set the difficulty options here. Okay, this seems good, so let's start. So as I said before, I'm going to publish my mod list in the description, and maybe even some craft files. Okay, so let's start off and build our first rocket. So our first rocket is going to be mainly probably to collect some science. So let's see what parts we've got. So we've got the Fleas solid rocket booster, and these two modules. Let's use this one. This is like a Russian-based one, like the Soyuz and all the Foxtrot pods. This is what it's based on, if you want to know. So let's add the solid rocket booster. And probably maybe some fins at the bottom. So here let's add some science experiments. So maybe 2 mystery goos, actually 4. And finally a parachute. And then our crew, our trusty Jeb Kerman. So let's call this I'm really bad at names, so let's just call this Science 1. Save, and let's check the staging first. So this kind of Soyuz, or in this case the Onion pod, has an inbuilt decoupler, so you don't need to unlock decouplers yet. And let's actually put this on this let's move the experiments onto the pod, so we keep them when we splash down. Save, and let's launch. So here we are on the launch pad. We can look inside the pod. It's actually quite a nice interior. It's part of the Making History DLC. I think it costs like $10 or something. It's worth it if you want like historical kind of rocket parts, or just a wider roster of parts to choose from. Anyway, so let's start by collecting some science. Let's collect this. I'm also using so one of the mods I'm using is Restock, which just makes it doesn't change anything, just makes all the parts look kind of better. So here, let's do a crew report, and a surface sample and EVA report. we can now board. And now let's go 3, 2, 1, launch. Let's quickly do a mystery goo. We want to decouple and activate a parachute. So now we can do actually no, later on, once the parachute is deployed fully, we can do another EVA report. So now let's just time warp until the parachute opens. Okay, there you go. That's the sound of the boosters exploding. So now what we can go in EVA and do an EVA report, then board. So we want to maximize science so we can get to the interesting parts of the tech tree as soon as possible. So now it's just a matter of getting back down. I'll just time warp. And we're gonna land in 3, 2, 1. There we go. We've touched down. We can do, I think, is this a different biome or not? We'll see. I don't think it is, but let's just do one just in case. Because all the different Kerbal Space Center all the different Kerbal Space Center buildings and launch and like the runway and everything, they all count as different biomes. So that's where you can so if you want to really get a lot of science early on, you can do that. So let's recover this vessel. So we just got 34 science, which is pretty good. And now it's time to spend our points in the tech tree. So we want, this is good. We definitely want this. Then we also want, this is as decouplers and science things. This is from a mod. I think it's Kerbal Inventory System or Kerbal Attachment System, where you can do stuff like you can build things while you're in space. So we want to unlock the science as soon as possible, the Science Junior, because that will just allow us to do so much more. Okay, so now we've still got 24 points. What do we choose? Decoupler would be nice. This, and I think that's all we've got. But where's the Science Junior? I'm also playing with the community tech tree for my mods. Let's see. Electrics, recycling. No. Where is the Science Junior? I don't know. Where's the science? No. Oh, here it is. Here's the science. Okay. Wait, no, is it? Where is the science? Space exploration. Hitchhiker. Here we go. Here's the Science Junior. So we want to unlock that as soon as possible, because that will just allow us to get a lot of science. So let's build our second rocket. Okay. So new. With this one, we could reach orbit. So let's, for a change, let's use this the Mark 1 command pod. I don't know what this is based off. It might be based off, like, I don't know, the first rockets like the Redstone. I don't know that much about those ones. Correct me if I'm wrong. But kind of looks like it. So let's add a parachute. And do we need a heat shield yet? Or do we even have heat shields? No. So we're going to use a normal decoupler. And now just fuel tanks. You can alt-click to copy, so it saves you time. And now why don't we add some solid rocket boosters on the side. So solid rocket boosters, the advantage is that they give you a lot of thrust, and they give you a lot of thrust, and they're kind of more lightweight than other things. But the disadvantages are that they can't really be throttled, and they're very difficult to control. So that's why you should always have an engine with gimbal, kind of, or some other form of control if you want to use solid rocket booster. That's why I'm adding fins here. For some reason my symmetry is not working. That's so weird. No? Okay, maybe I'll just add it like manually. That should work. So anyway, so now we've just got to check our staging. I don't think we'll be able to reach orbit with this. Wait, we might. No, we've got 2,000. We have 2,700 meters per second of delta V. We need 3,000 at least. So delta V is kind of just the change in acceleration that you can do. Yeah. So how much? We might be able to make it. I'll see. Now I've just got to add experiments. So if we go to science. So let's add first of all a thermometer, 2 thermometers, because we really want to maximize science to get to the cool parts of the tech tree. So let's add lots of thermometers, 4 thermometers to be precise, and more mystery goo. So that's our craft ready. Let's call this, let's call this, I'm really bad at coming up with names. I don't think we'll be able to reach orbit with this, so I'll call it Suborbiter 1. Anyway, let's save. Again, we're gonna fly with Jebediah, and let's launch. Also, if you have any other ideas on what I should do or what I should play, just let me know in the comments and I'll see. Okay, so now first of all we can do a thermometer readout on the launch pad. So log temperature. Now let's launch. So because we've got this solid rocket boosters, we're accelerating a lot. In fact, we're accelerating a bit too fast. So we'll cut the throttle on my main one, on my swivel engine. It's still not enough, but it'll help. Okay. So we've nearly run out of. There we go. Now we can decouple these. They crash into each other, and let's turn a bit so we'll fly. So we'll actually be flying over the sea. So now we can. We actually might be able to make it to orbit, but I don't want to because I don't have a heat shield, and there might be a bad thing. Wait, so let's do another thermometer. Log temperature. You know, we don't have maneuver nodes yet, so this is, yeah. Let's wait until we get into space though. Actually, we do. We are playing. Yeah, we're playing in science mode. So now we could. So what we want to do now is first of all do another mystery goo and a one more thermometer reading. Log temperature. There we go. Now we want to do an EVA report. So now it's just time warp until we re-enter. I'm just gonna leave the boost on in case. I'll just slow down a bit so we don't so that we don't burn up. But I don't think we will. We're going quite slowly. Anyway, I think we should probably decouple. There we go. So the booster will now crash safely. At least, no, not safely, but it will just crash. So anyway, I think we could probably do a... Do we still have this? Observe mystery goo. Wait, no, we don't. No, this doesn't count. We need to be flying above the ocean. So let's deploy our parachute. So now I can just coast down, wait for the parachute to deploy. Okay, now we can do another mystery goo. I think this should give us some sign. Oh no, it's still not. We know we have to do one in the ocean. And this should be good. So let's just splash down safely. Jebediah seems very excited. Also, what I might try and do later is like a challenge where I can only get into orbit, but only using the interior view. Might be quite difficult. So let's observe this. So we got some more science. We can do another EVA report right here. EVA report on a surface sample. Even though there is no surface sample, we're literally floating in the sea. But that doesn't stop him. Okay, let's recover and now get the Science Junior. Okay, wow, we've got 87 science now. This was really a good like kind of launch. So what do we want to unlock? First of all, we want to unlock this. We get heat shields, the service bay, more experiments, and radial parachutes. Now it is time to get the Science Junior. It will take a lot of our science, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So, and finally, why don't we unlock why don't we... This is nice, but I like this. Yeah, we get another solid rocket booster, a bigger fuel tank. This is good. Okay, now we are ready to reach orbit. Also, if you're wondering why I didn't choose science mode, career mode, is because there's contracts and everything, but later on I could do it, but not now. Oh, we've got the probe core now, but we're not going to do that yet because, yeah. So now, this time, we're going to call the spacecraft Orbiter 1 with my very creative naming system. Orbiter 1. Okay, let's go. So we want this, we want, most importantly, we want a Science Junior. That is the most important thing. And we want a heat shield. So that's the top of our craft done. we might actually want to do this because we can carry data, and we don't have to we're not, but it's too big, so let's not do this. It's because I wanted to use it so that we could store data from the Science Junior instead of bringing it back, but I mean we can still store it in the pod, so it's fine. Now let's just add some more thermometers and 4 barometers, because these ones we haven't really used them yet, so we've got a lot of data to collect. And for this one we're gonna want to use not Jebediah, sorry, but Bob, because he can reset the science and will help us. And why do we add 2 radial parachutes, just in case, because this is heavier, because you've got the Science Junior. Let's just add 2 radial parachutes right here. Are these... yeah. Oh no, it's drogue chutes we want, actual parachutes. There we go. Okay, now what I want is a decoupler. Now it's time to build the rocket. So let's have a 2-stage. So we're gonna have this is gonna be the upper stage with a with a swivel engine. We're gonna go with the swivel engine. Then what else? This is one. Does this I don't think it does, no. So let's do this one. Now let's add a decoupler and more fuel tanks. This is going to be quite a big one. I think we're slightly over-engineering it, but that doesn't stop me. That can't stop me. What do we add? This, and then 2 side liquid fuel boosters with first of all, let's add fins, because last time we had some slight problems with the fins. There we go. And now we add 2 decouplers. Actually, let's move the fins a bit. Also, let me know, do you want to see me building the rockets or just the launchers? Because, yes. Oh no, we have the same problem. For some reason the symmetry just switches automatically. So we're gonna just place it individually. One of them on this side. And then... but how does the symmetry work? Let's go. Okay, fine, we'll just not use those 2 other ones. Now I can use... no. Why is the symmetry being so weird? If anyone knows how to fix this problem, please let me know, because this is very annoying. There we go, that worked. Okay, fine. Now we can continue. Well, what happened here? No, we need to switch to 2 and then... nope, still not working. Wait, what? How? What is happening? What? Oh wait, sorry. Okay, this should be solved. What? There we go. It kept clipping inside the other part. That was weird. Anyway, we're gonna add two swivel. I mean, this one. Which one's the reliant? Two of these. So this should be good. Let's actually limit the thrust, because the thrust to weight ratio is a bit too high. So let's actually make it like much lower. There we go. Well, now we have an acceptable, because when the thrust to weight ratio is too high, you can't control the craft that easily, and that's bad. So now let's add nose cones, and I think we are ready to launch. Okay, so now we can first of all, here we can observe the materials bay. Then, now that we've got that, we can EVA the scientist. So that's why I chose a scientist. He can then collect the data. He's got the data, and he can now restore this. Which means, yeah, so he can board this, and now he can store this in the craft. So we're just going to run the barometer experiment, log pressure data, and do another one when we're in the air. Okay, now we are ready to launch. So now we can just log this and do another observation of the materials bay. So the reason why the Science Junior is so great is it gives you a lot of science, and it's very relatively small and easy to carry around. So we can just close these now and start our gravity turn. So what a gravity turn is essentially, it's just you turning to kind of get into orbit, because you can't go straight up. You have to you have to turn to kind of rotate with the Earth. These engines actually don't have gimbal, which is annoying. You don't have that much gimbal, so I have to really turn slowly, and I'm not turning enough. This is very inefficient. What, did the central one run out of fuel? What? Okay, well then that's unfortunate. Anyway, now we can actually turn. This is weird. So we can turn and go like this. This is very bad. If you're trying to get into orbit, do not do what I'm doing right now. Because I'm used to having the very good like gimbaled engines, like the mainsail and the vector. And this is just completely different. There we go. Now we've kind of... You need a lot of horizontal speed to get into orbit. So you can look at my trajectory right here. We don't have enough horizontal speed, and we'll just fall back down. But once we... First of all, we need an apoapsis outside the atmosphere, which is the highest point in your orbit, which is currently at 56 kilometers. and we need that to rise above 70, which is the edge of the atmosphere. And then once we've got that above 70, we then need to make our velocity kind of increase, the horizontal velocity. You'll see in a moment. So now we can do this and just give it a slight boost until, oh, there we go. Now, no, what did I do? Oh no, this is bad. I decoupled too early. Let's just pretend this never happened. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to replace these engines here with gimbaled engines. With the wait, there's a swivel. Where's the swivel? Wait, this is a Reliant? What's this? Okay. So wait, the other one just disappeared. Anyway. Wait, no. Wait, this central one was a... Do we even have this swivel? Oh, this is it, okay. No wonder it wasn't turning properly. We weren't actually using any swivels. But now we don't have enough delta V. Well, this is okay, we're gonna use 1 swivel and 2 Reliants. There we go, this should be enough. Or worst case, we could let's just add more fuel into the these ones. Okay, I think we should have enough delta V to get into orbit. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna run these experiments again. So this is the same thing we did before. And we're gonna restore this so that we can board. Okay, now that we've boarded, we can just actually have another one here, a barometer, and this. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same thing we did before, except this time we've actually got proper control. Nope, no. We've got proper control of the rocket. See? Also, it's still not being controlled properly because of my horrible flying skills. But we'll just, yeah. So now we're doing gravity turn, which is actually still this craft is very unstable, I don't know why. Or it might just be me and my bad flying. So wait, now we're actually getting very hot because we went a bit too fast, but for some reason I thought we had just enough delta V. Oh, I was actually looking at the atmospheric delta V instead of the vacuum, because engines become much more efficient when they're in a vacuum, most of them. So yes, that's why. So now I can decouple these. So now I just need horizontal speed to get into orbit. So now what we can do is make a maneuver node to circularize. So maneuver nodes are just kind of you can plan burns, but you still have to do them yourself. You can just plan them. And it's good if you want precision, but for example, for circularizing, I could have not used it, but I still prefer to use it. So anyway, so this marker here shows our shows where we are. Shows when we need to point to perform the maneuver. So the burn is in 1 minute, so it gives us time to collect this data. So now I can board again. Oh wait, I still need to restore it actually. And restore. Oh, we need a board. We need to point towards our maneuver, which is what we're doing right now, and we can do some experiments in the meantime, like this. And of course, the Science Junior. So this gives us a nice amount of science. Okay, so now the maneuver is in 38 seconds, which still gives us time actually to do another thermometer reading. Oh no, we've already done it, so this won't help. So actually no, we need to decouple, so that stage is going to fall back down to Earth while we stay in orbit. So in orbit, just you'll see we will accelerate so that we kind of accelerating too fast for Earth's gravity to catch us. So that's exactly what we're going to do now in 15 seconds. Can I? Oh yeah, here you've got the window. You can watch Earth. So I'm going to activate the engines. 3, 2, 1, and start the burn. So here you can watch our trajectory getting. The blue line is our trajectory. It's getting bigger and bigger until it's going to go around the Earth, and at that point we'll have achieved a stable orbit. Also, I don't know what you want the series to be. If it's more like a tutorial or more like just a science mode playthrough. If you want, I can do both at the same time, kind of like what I'm doing now. So now we are in a stable orbit and we won't fall back down, which means it's time to we can enjoy the sights, and once you're ready to go back down, we can just kind of burn in the other direction, retrograde, and then come back. So I'm gonna restore this. We can actually do an EVA report. No, we've already got this. We've already got this as a report. We could actually collect and restore. So all of this, we can store it. So now we'll wait until we're actually orbiting above a land, which I don't know if we can time warp until we're orbiting above land, which means we can then do another, because every time you orbiting over a different biome, it gives you different science points. So here we're still above the Kerbal waters. This planet is called Kerbal. I don't know why I'm saying this. Most people actually have played this will already know that, and people who watch this have probably already played. So let's see. Is this a new biome? Observe. Yes. Okay, we're gonna be above the desert soon, which is definitely a new biome. So while we're doing this, while we're waiting, we can go to EVA, collect and reset, and restore. Oh, we can't. We've got too many experiments, so actually we can't. Yeah, that's why we need actually the what's it called? The experiment storage container, because that allows us to keep additional data. Anyway, now, since we can't do anything else, it's time for re-entry. So what we're going to point in the other direction we're orbiting until we have a lowest point in our atmosphere, the lowest point, the periapsis that's inside the atmosphere. Then the atmosphere will slow us down for us. So let's see. That's what we just did. So now periapsis is exactly 23 kilometers high, which is plenty enough. Now all we have to do is decouple the bottom stage, point retrograde, which is the bottom of our orbit, and just watch. Okay, now we're entering the atmosphere. This is re-entry. What's happening right now? So as time orbits, so we're gonna hit the thickest parts of the atmosphere at, I'd say, about 30 to 40 kilometers high, and that's when the re-entry effects are gonna start burning. So the heat shield is slowly beginning to heat up, and eventually, yep, there we go. These are the re-entry effects. This is the heat. This is completely normal, and it will last a while, and then it'll just go away once you slow down enough. Let's hope nothing explodes. It's kind of cheating, but if you spin a lot, you won't explode. I mean, parts that are attached won't explode. It's kind of cheating, but not really. So now we're slowing down a lot. I mean, not that much yet, but once we hit like 30 kilometers and less, we will start slowing down. Now we're not even at orbital speed anymore, so we'll land somewhere in the sea. So once we hit, I think, speeds that are lower than, I'd say, 1000 or 1100, the flames will start to fade, and so will the heating effects. So any minute now. Yep, there we go, it's starting to fade. And we did it. We survived re-entry. Now it's just a matter of deploying our parachutes when the time is right. So it's not yet, because we've still got us. We're still going in Mach 1. Not anymore though. Now I've slowed down enough. We can deploy parachutes and just coast. Now I'm gonna land. We can do one last science junior sample, and then we should have collected a lot of science already. Also, if your parachutes don't look like this and other parts, as normal, just because I'm using a mod called Restock. I already said this, but it just kind of adds detail to the stock parts. For example, the splashdown, the goo, the mystery goo actually has texture inside. But yeah. So now we can just do one last reading of this. It's gonna give us 10 science, and whatever this, and then finally an atmospheric pressure scan. So this is all, and we can now recover the vessel. Well, we got 116 science for that, which is great. Now, let's unlock some parts. So we could get advanced rocketry, which gives us longer fuel tanks and a bigger fuel tank, a 1.875 diameter, if I'm correct. Let's see. I think so. We could get this, which will give us like stability things and other things, containers, aviation. No, we don't really want planes yet. Maybe flight control would be nice. We could space exploration. Which one gives us the better command modules? Here. Well, we still need to unlock quite a bit to get there. We actually want landing legs. Landing legs would be nice. Where are... Because we want to land on the moon soon, probably. Let's see. Flight control, enhanced survivability. Flight control. Landing. Here we go. So... yeah, landing legs and launch escape system, bigger parachute. Yeah. To get this, we need to first research this, but I don't think we'll have enough. How much of these level costs? It costs 90. No, we won't be able to make it. So, probably our best bet would actually still no. I don't know. You know what? We'll go for this. Yes, I'm gonna go for this. And we could still go for this, so we can later on still get the command pods. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.